I'm going to look at how we can use Word Cloud Plus to create a word cloud of a report to help us get a launch point for how we're going to read that report, how we can apply active reading by knowing what the main themes are and by interrogating the report for those themes, rather than adopting a passive reading approach of simply starting at the beginning. So I'm going to take a major report from the research industry, the GreenBook Research Industry Report, often known as GRIT, and we're going to have a look at what's in that report and get some themes. So we're going to start off by putting in a title, and this is the GRIT 2023, and we're going to paste in the GRIT study here and ask it to create the cloud. And it'll create a first view of that cloud, but there are things in there that are to do with the layout of the document and the questionnaire that created it. So they're really not very useful. So we see here GRIT Wave. So GRIT is the name of the study. And what I'm going to go is to there. And I'm going to tell it that treat GRIT as a stop word. I don't want it to be displayed. And treat wave, which is a reference to this study versus previous years, as another stop word. What else have we got? We've got 20 years here. Again, that tends to be titles, so we can take the 20 and the years, and we're going to make both of those stop words. Similarly, year on its own can be a stop word. So we're going to have a look at 11 to 15. Now 2 is already a stop word because it starts with all of the standard stop words in the language I'm using, in this case English, as stop words, but we're going to ask it to make 11 and 15 stop words. And what else do we want to have a look at? Oh, here we've got 6 and 10. So 6 and 10. And this is just taking those words out of the process so that what we've got is a lot tidier. It's still fairly cluttered, and what I will often do is I will say, well, let's just look at the top 30 words. We can choose how many words we're going to show. So we've got the top 30, and now we can start looking at what's in the word cloud and what message is it giving us. Actually, I'm going to put a title on it as well. The GRIT Report 2023. And if you are interested in research and insights, I really recommend you get a copy of this report. It is free. It's got some useful information. We can actually make the scale slightly bigger. So rather than using auto zoom, I'm going to take it and say, let's have a look at 140, 150. It's just that little bit easier to read. And we've got fewer things on the page. That makes it easier. So from a sort of an analytics point of view, the first thing that hits me in the page is it's full service research insight professionals. So often this report focuses a lot on technologies and techniques and things like biometrics. What we can see here is there's quite a strong theme in the report about the full range of things that are conducted in the research world and the people who conduct the research, both on the supplier and on the client side. So we're going to bear that in mind as one of our key themes, and then we're going to start looking at whether or not we can find topics beyond that that we really want to focus. So I'm going to pick qualitative research, and I'm going to go and pick a colour for it. I'm going to put that in orange. And there's qualitative researchers up here. So let's put those in orange. We have got any more references to it? I'm sure there are, but if I see them in a moment, that's fine. Let's also pick up on buyer-side insight professionals and put those as red, so that we can see those and get them to stand out. We'll see some more of those in a moment, I'm quite sure. or buyer-side insights, for example, down here. So next what we want to do is think about some other topics. So data collection. And we're going to change the colors we're using. Let's take a green one now. So data collection is in green. And that is very much linked with data quality. And can we quickly see sample quality? Again, that's the same sort of topic. And data collection techniques at the top of the page. So the next thing that I see there as a category is strategic consultancies. So we'll give them a color. We'll give those a light blue. And if we have a look at what's also still on the page, strategic consulting, we'll give that the same light blue. And a couple more things that I'm going to pick up on. We have data analytics, we have analytics providers. So let's go for a dark blue maybe for the analytics providers. And the data analytics providers. Data and analytics. So it gets easier as you go through because most things are either coloured now or they're not so relevant. But now I've spotted, of course, field services. Field services should be in green. So we'll click on that. And then we will go and we'll tell it that that is green. And the final one I'm going to highlight is technology, because it is still a theme in this data, even if it's not one of the top themes. So we'll go there and we will tell it that, just trying to pick a color which we haven't used. Come right down here. We'll have it very dark. So what I've got now is a set of color coding that helps me look and see what the different categories are. We can see that we've got buyer side stuff, we've got analytics, we've got data collection, strategic consultancies, qualitative research, and technology are the main themes in the data. And when I come to read the report actively, these are the things I'm going to look for. If I want to get a bit more sense of what's in the data, I can click on Summary. It tells me that there are almost 70,000 words in here. So we can see that the phrase full service research occurred 120 times. The top single word suppliers, buyers, things like this, we can look down and we get a sense of what's going on in the data. And then we could examine it as well if we want. And of course, once I've got my cloud like this, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to tell it that I want to download it. If I want a really high quality version, I'll tell it that I want an SVG version. And that's got the data downloaded. So that's a very quick take through on how we can use a word cloud with a really large report to give us a sense of what the key themes are, and then use those themes for active reading to allow us to interrogate the report more proactively.